I was invited to participate in the Stomp, which is the Welsh National Poetry Slam. And since at the New Eurekan I brought the Poetry Slam to New York, I was experienced in this. So I'm going to now give you an insider's view on how, not only how to write a slam poem, but how to write a winning slam poem, and not only how to do it, but to write it in a language that you barely speak. So, Welsh is a Celtic language, right? It predates Anglo-Saxon. So it's very difficult to find cognates with Welsh. As a matter of fact, the only Welsh word that's made it into English is corgi. Roi'n daimlo fel I ddreif ochmanol I vroide.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Which is, I feel like the red dragon in the middle of battle. Now, what you do when you're beginning a slam poem is you get the judges, in this case the entire audience, on your side. And what better way to do that as this American interloper than to say that you're the red dragon? I don't know if you've noticed all the flags of the nation, but there's one flag that has a red dragon on it, the Welsh flag, because they know that in Welsh mythology there's a red dragon buried outside of Carnarvon Castle, and next to it is a white dragon. Now, we're not going to say who is the white dragon, but you can guess. Because when these two dragons come up at the apocalyptic moment, the red dragon is going to emerge victorious. And the only other thing I can tell you is the most famous way of saying cheers in Welsh, which is Tuchdin Popsais, up the butts of all the English. What? So I feel like the red dragon in the middle battle. Barth Americanae tumfat nongori stomp. But in fact, I'm just a stupid American poet trying to write a poem for the Stomp. Next I thought a little hip hop would get us.
In Welsh?
You doubt. Isja de heriad din possibiliad. Isja gaveriad din de finiad over threediad. A distweriad definiad. Oh, want an apology? No possibility. My address, the contradiction of definition. Definition, demolition. So, in case you're more classically oriented, I thought then to come back on the other side with my own kupot, beth idut tia minau fraud, und suplis gern moin whisk oginau. O river boatman death, he knows it. What art thou and I, sister, but a uniform of bones and flesh? Now, that's a pretty tough line to come in, solid, poetic line, and if you knew your Welsh poetry, you knew that I would completely appropriated it from some great Welsh poets. So rather than try to, I let that set up for a second for people to think, is he really trying to get away with stealing those lines? Before I came back with the good Kiefer Rodi, R. Williams Perry, T.H. Perry Williams, in now Imperialis Americanae. The above lines were stolen on your behalf from R. Williams Perry and T.H. Perry Williams in the name of American imperialism. Boy, I wish I had you in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, my first, you notice the sounds coming out there? This is the most famous of all the letters in Welsh. It's a double L, the famous double L, which is a silent lateral L. You make the sound of an L, the mouth shape of an L, oh, and then you breathe in without making a sound. So you get It's a real fun sound. And there's only one other language, which you find in Nigeria, that uses this sound. So whenever you hear people going, you know, Wales, Nigeria. But what does Kinhanath mean? This is my first line in Kinhanath. Kinhanath is a poetic device you only find in Welsh, and I believe is one of the reasons why Welsh has survived all these thousands of years, because the Welsh hear a Kinhanath, which is take your line of poetry, split it in half, and then drop all the vowels from the first and from between the two halves, and the sounds of the consonants chime, are alike in the first and second. There are 4 types of Kinhanath. I won't go into the details of them, but sometimes they rhyme, etc. But basically, if you say a line of poetry that has that consonant chime in Welsh, you're ace. And I was hoping, of course, to win the stomp. Here comes my first line of Kinhanath. See if you hear it. Which translates to I'm shaking in my bones, which happened to be true at times also. And now the thrilling conclusion. Ay, baby, baby, unig ford o etali gerthon. The kiezen, geen op kiezen in dood, in aer gomreig, van vimein elon before it leave. Oh, baby, baby, the only way to stop this poem is to kiss, kiss, where each kiss becomes a word in Welsh, in my